What's going on, guys, and welcome to the Diamond Standard YouTube channel at The Collector. We're going to be headed into day number 7, game 1. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. It really helps me out. Game 1's going to be against a mage. And he's got ping, so I'm not sure exactly what that'll be. Some kind of control, of course. I drop a skeletal hoplite. He's taking his good old time, and then he eventually drops a little bit of damage into card draw generation. I get the obelisk out and decide to just go for run it down. He plays the final act. Put enough damage down. Luckily, I draw into Necroscepter, and that allows me to keep being aggressive. He clears most of my board. Voracious Fiend, hopefully to just keep putting things out. On turn 5, I'd like to be able to Corpse Explosion. That didn't happen, so it'll take a little bit more patience than that, but I am beating him up a little bit already. Stay wide, stay strong, so I buy the taunt. Just keep getting thicker, go with the Nether Swarm Lord. Again, putting a lot of damage down. I know at this point I'm going to be able to save my Nether Swarm Lord, though, and keep putting damage down and getting bigger. Decaying Rhino. Thick, very tough for the mage deck. This guy appears to be running a mostly free-to-play deck, so stand a little bit of a chance against him. Going for wide because I have the Corpse Explosion. I put something out there that I anticipate he's going to be able to clear my board, and if he does, I will still have a creature left. That's why I went Voracious Fiend. It appears he was unable to clear my board, so I think I'm going to be able to take him out this turn. And bam. Day 7, game 1 going to end on a positive note, headed into game 2 with 1 win and no losses. Game 2 going to be against a death deck. He has the same board that I have. He looks like he's going to be trying to run some kind of card draw. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Sometimes I feel like they make a mistake when they choose the Neferu's choice for their power, but we'll see what happens in this game. Taking me a second to make my decision on what I want to do. I think at this point, I'm pretty sure I almost have the damage to end it, so between a Corpse Explosion and then Ragnarocking the follow turn, I know that I should have, so then I buy the Ruin of Fire, and I'm holding 10 damage in my hand. 9 plus my God Power. He plays the Harvester, which would be very strong, except for I have it. So I'm headed into game 3 with 2 wins and 0 losses. Very strong start to the day, feeling really good. And then bam, a war deck. He's going for the Empower Olympians, which is always an interesting run. I open up with a lot of control, but not a lot of creature. He's killing off his own stuff for me, which is convenient. Thinking about it, and I decide to get the Fickle Cambion out there just to get as swole as possible while he's not sitting on anything. And I have control, unfortunately. He gets something out there that allows him to take it out first try. I still have some control, which is good news here. He goes ahead and gives ward to himself. I pop the ward and kill the ally and clear his entire board. Really busting up his combo pretty good. Archer, then he plays that guy. Terribly tough to deal with, but I know he can either run it head first into the decaying rhino, or I should be able to Ray of Deception if he wastes. Ray of Disintegration, not Deception. Psh, what am I thinking? He calls to arms. He's still got a wider board than me. I get out there and clean up what he's got. Another swarm. I'm trying to set up for another Swarm Lord so that I'll be able to swell up and draw some cards because I think his combo is slowing down. Go for a little bit of control. And at this point I drew Corpse Explosion. That leaves me feeling pretty confident because I have a lot of damage on the board. Even with that going down, I still have pretty decent. Now that he halved me, not so good. He played a card that deals 1 damage to everything when it died, so I knew I'd be able to clear his board, kind of playing with his deck against him. And I'm putting down as much damage as I can. And then I know that I've got the Corpse Explosion to take him out. So, excellent way to end Game 3 with a W. Headed into Game 4 with 3 wins and 0 losses. This is a very strong day so far. Going to be playing a mage deck. Open up with a super strong hand into a mage deck with the Scepter, Obelisk, and a Decaying Rhino. Then it pops out a Hoplite for me. Hoplite is excellent because he can't ping it down right away, and I should be able to get a pumped up zombie out of the Scepter turn 2. I pass it back over. He doesn't think he stands a chance and surrenders. So headed into Game 5 with 4 wins and 0 losses. And it's going to be against a mage deck. So looking like I stand a little bit of a chance here at least. He took 4C, which means likely going to be a control deck. I go ahead and just come out hard in the paint with 2 Petulant Imps because I want to be able to throw down a Fickle and get him super wide on turn 2. He puts a little bit of hurting on one of them. I still get the Fickle out and go 4-4 turn 2. It's pretty strong. Taking a moment, he decides to 4C. He's unable to control anything. I kill his creature, get the Fickle 2 stronger before swinging for 6. Very strong on turn 3. He's looking to draw into anything he'll be able to control the Fickle with, but he is just having some trouble. I actually made a mistake there and should have pumped the Fickle up one more, but I dropped him down to 1, and he's not going to be able to do anything about that, basically, and he's going to do as much damage as he can with the school teacher almost having his full combo before he has to hand it back over to me at 4 hit points, and I win. Headed into Game 6 with 5 wins and 0 losses. Still doing pretty well at this point. Doing great, really. 6 games or 5 games, 0 losses. Really, really good. Against nature this time, he's coming out pretty hard. His boar misses my Voracious Fiend, and then I pull a Wicked Fae, getting super lucky. Burning Talisman's a little bit of a pain. I decided to go with the Decaying Rhino because the Burning Talisman will still take several turns. His Canopy Barrage hits the hits not what he's intending to, and I end up getting the trapper, and I'm able to destroy his talisman. Super, super lucky. I just destroy his creatures and go as wide as possible. At this point, I'm not really sure. He tries to play another Burning Talisman, but kind of late at this point. I believe I have enough damage in my hand to just end it. And of course I do. So that's really nice. Headed into Game 7 at 6-0. This is setting up to be one of the largest days I have ever had on Gods Unchained at 6-0. Playing a Deception deck. Deception's not a terribly bad matchup. He has the same board as me. Missing a trinket, but a similar trinket to me. Just going to go as wide as possible, as quick as possible. Deception can do stacks and build up. I know at this point he's going to be hitting me at the beginning of the turn without a choice, so my Fickle Cambion will become a 6/6. He applies burn and card draw for himself, but that's not going to change things. If he was unable to stop my Fickle, I'll be able to pump him up huge. I buy the heal off the market so he can draw cards, but Force of Will. And at that point, I know I'm super close to being able to win it. He's going to be very low. I take the 2 damage option because even if he heals with the zombies he was able to gain, I should be able to put damage down that way. He did not clear my whole board. He did put me to sleep, though. Very strong. He's at 3. I'm still looking for my outs, but at this point I know it's probably a good plan to get rid of his heal, give myself some taunt. He clears that. I'm begging for a Ragnarok basically at this point. Nether Swarm Lord for the card draw, and I got lucky enough to draw into it. He heals up, but not enough to put him outside of my Ragnarok and Corpse Explosion combo. He should have killed the Nether Swarm Lord. And I take it home, headed into Game 8 at 7-0. What a crazy run that we're having on day 7 here. 7-0 headed into Game 8. Very satisfied, playing against a death with a simple board, and it looks like he's going to be playing a deck very similar to mine. He gets out an Obelisk. I Ragnarok it, I put down damage, get my Scepter out. I decide a 2/2 zombie is going to be the way to go here. Liking this guy's name, a Metaverse. Very fun. I decide it's my turn to try to get my Obelisk out. He is able to destroy it quickly, equaling the playing field out, and then destroying the rest of my key creatures, putting himself ahead. Try more card draw and pump. He gets out his Necroscepter. It's been a pretty tight game at this point. Probably a mistake trying to destroy one of his creatures. I likely should have put out Decaying Rhino and pumped it up. But I was thinking at this point I needed to keep his board as small as possible or he was going to Corpse Explosion. I'm trying to think of the best way to clear his board. I decide to try to take down his Scepter. But I think at this point I'm pretty sure he's going to have Corpse Explosion and likely going to win next turn because I can't get rid of the Vampiric Skull. He does not win that turn, but he is able to put down Kyra and a huge amount of control. Just about effectively clearing my board. I Ragnarok, but I still believe at this point he's going to hold basically enough damage to end the game this next turn. And sure enough, he kills my creatures and buffs his, leaving me at 1. I know at this point I'm not going to be able to end it, so I just end it for him. Suicide. Headed into game 9, 7-1. Today will not be the perfect playthrough of my ranked games, but that's okay. 7-1, headed into game 9 against a Deception deck. Opens with Warden. Voracious Fiend into Warden. I always like that. He's hiding it, so I'm able to heal some of the damage that he's doing and continue getting creatures out. He likes the 5 damage a turn, so he then gives it hidden. I decide just keep going wide. He's taking over and getting my zombies, again making the 5 damage hidden. Nether Swarm Lord, though, is going to make it really tough for him to overcome me with that. He likely should have been controlling my board up to this point. He kills the Nether Swarm Lord, which is a good move. He looks at my hand, but I don't have Corpse Explosion. And I pull it, which is crazy. Blight Bomb. Big hand. I get rid of the Relic Destroy. And at this point, I am pretty sure that I'm just going to win it on this turn. I'm doing the math in my head. It takes me just a second. And he surrenders. Head into game 10 at 8-1. 8-1. An excellent start, an excellent way to round out day number 7. And I'm against a death deck. Seeing a hoplite, I anticipate seeing a deck very similar to mine. I just put down 1 damage. Wicked Fae, he's going for the wide approach early on. I get out the Scepter, trying to keep his favor down as much as possible. Decaying Rhino, and at this point I know it's going to be very tough to have a comeback. I try to match his energy with the Decaying Rhino, but once the Death deck gets the lead, it can be tough to recover. He kills my Rhino, and I'm pretty much struggling from this point on. Turn 5, he is able to put down enough damage he can Corpse Explosion and win. So that rounds out the overall wins 8-2, and I earned 15.727 gods. Thank you for watching on my so far best day of the journey, and please come again.